Welcome back, everyone. I have an extremely important lesson to teach y'all today, packed into a game that was really fun and epic, so I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. So early on, we identified that the enemy team has both a support guard and a Gunflame Berserker, which if you don't know, that's him right there. The Gunflame Berserker does a ton of damage. He has to be stopped quick. So right at the opening here, we all unload on him, but he has a little bit of invuln, and he ends up right here. You'll see dropping one teammate, and then if you look at the top left there, you'll see that our Virtuoso goes down as well. And the Guardian shows up at the same time and resustains the Berserker, so we can't even get the kill. So the opening here ends up being a colossal failure, and we were talking on comms. I'm playing with a fairly new player in the War Pigs, my best friend IRL, Theo, and so he's learning Vert. So I'm giving a lot of comms to him throughout this match. You'll notice myself playing just a little bit slower on rotations and strategy here. And that's part of why, because I'm really trying to play with him and make calls for our team. But anyways, okay, back to the immediate. Right here, we tried to get a kill on the Willbender. We couldn't. Berserker drops right back down, and you'll see I panic. I was trying to port up to that Willbender on mid there. Thankfully, the Berserker did not chase me, or he could have killed me there. I was extremely weak. Once again, just trying to grab a kill on anybody outside of the support guard and the Berserker. And then I noticed that Theo is absolutely boxing the Berserker down there. So I open on him. Support is immediately on him. We start DPSing, and they still manage to hand res him and get him up. So at this point, we are struggling. Again, going back to what I was saying before the match here, we knew that with their support guard and their Berserker, we can't let them play together. We needed to either kill the support guard really fast or kill the Berserker before the support guard could get could save him and resustain him essentially. Let me fast forward just a hair here, back to coming out of spawn. So anyways, it's the conundrum of, well, do we focus the support or do we focus the DPS? And I realized this is going to be a great match to teach that lesson. How do you know who to focus? And the answer, as we continue to go through this game here, is going to be you have to get them separated, and you have to kind of play all three nodes. If you take a look at the map right now, we've just been playing home and mid. Ultimately, it's going to fall on our Thief to try and get far. And so if you could see the chat, you'd see that after I just died there, I put in the chat, Thief, can you decap far for us? Because we have to get these guys all separated so that either the support guard and the Berserker are separate from each other, or the support guard and the Berserker are separate from the rest of the team. That's the only way that we're going to win, is dividing and conquering. Now let me rewind this here just because we missed that. So I'm getting pushed by 3 of them here, and you'll notice what I do, I juke around like that so that I can line of sight the attacks. I saw the Berserker using his, I forget what it's called, whenever he unleashes. And then I go to press my F3 to get up here, and I immediately get hit and stunned, and so I can't use it, and I go down. And then I'm going to go ahead and fast forward that. Now, as I come out of the spawn here, you'll notice on the mini-map at the top right here, the Thief did go and decap, so we have them separated a little bit, and lo and behold, now 2 of our players are getting some kills here. So I jump in and finish off the Reaper. That's 2 kills for our team that are going on respawn. So as we look at the mini-map, keep that in mind. Now, if you'll notice here, there's a 1v1 going on between our Thief and the enemy support guard. So this is an awesome chance for me to do a plus and kill this guy. Now, I will say the Thief right there probably should have continued to aggress the guard with me, but it's not a terrible move to cap the node because we are already over 100 points behind. We started out in a massive deficit. So right here, I target the Berserker because support is dead. So Berserker is a sitting duck, and for those who don't know, Gunflame Berserker doesn't have a whole lot of defensives. Mostly it's offensive. So I'm making the call to line of sight him and be very careful. He manages to get a kill on our teammate, but he has nothing left, so we kill him. The the Willbender I know can DPS out my teammate, so I put some health on him. Let me just back this up so you guys can watch this again, because it's happening here faster than I can commentate. So again, right here, I come into the fight knowing that he's aggressing on one of the teammates. It's too late, teammate's dead, but I know both of these guys are somewhat low, or at least the Berserker is. So I aggress on him, and this is Theo here on the Virtuoso with me. So we get his health down super low. We finish him off. Now, once again, Willbender is right here. I know because I just used my burst. He probably has more burst than I have, and he can finish off my guy faster than I can finish off his. If he finishes off mine, Berserker gets back up. So rather than DPSing out the Berserker, I go to put some health on my buddy here, and you'll see Theo DPSs the Berserker out, which is really smart. That worked out perfectly. So now Buddy's back up. However, you'll see the Ranger has joined the fight, the Soul Beast. He's extremely damaging, so they get one of our teammates down. Actually, he goes down really quick, and both of them are down now. So once again, same situation. This time I've got a little bit of DPS, or a little bit of cooldowns left to DPS with. So we kill him, then we drop the Soul Beast, who is also fairly front-loaded in terms of his DPS, not a whole lot of sustain. Although he did have some evades. So we're making real progress in this fight. And by the way, if you look at the top right here on the minimap just real quick, notice that the Thief is going far. So the Thief was listening to the message that I put in chat, just in case you guys think that nobody ever listens to callouts. Sometimes they do. So it's worth making a call out here and there, especially if you're already dead and you want to make an intelligent call out. So, okay, at this point we've got 2 kills. We killed the guard. Now you'll notice here, we should not have bled the guard there. If you look at the minimap, you'll notice that the enemy warrior just comes over, and I believe he gets him up there, which really sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we're rotating to far. We're trying to shut down the other enemies as they come out of spawn, and we get 2 kills here. You'll see the Soul Beast comes in, and he actually drops a teammate there pretty quickly, but again, he doesn't have much left, so we managed to kill him. We DPS him out. Both Theo and I do a good amount of damage, and the guard can't even res. You'll notice, let me back this up just for those of you that need to see this animation. Let me show you what the res animation looks like. See his arm right there lifted up? That's how you know that he's trying to cast a res. Now, if I had a Spear 5, I would click on that man, I would Spear 5, and I would use Judge's Intervention here to port over to him and interrupt that res. However, we did enough damage to the Ranger that it didn't matter. He ended up dropping. And for some reason, our Thief didn't get up. I guess he didn't do any damage to the Ranger. So I pick him up, the support guard backs away, and this is actually where you can learn a lesson from the enemy team. So up to this point, we've kind of wiped them. They did manage to backcap us on our home node, but notice you've got 2 people coming out of spawn here. Let me back that up one more time. So you've got the support guard who has backed up, waiting for his team, which is really smart. You've got a Reaper on Treb, and you get 2 guys coming out of spawn. So they are waiting to regroup. This never happens, and I actually mentioned this during the game to Theo. This never happens. It's super impressive that they had the discipline to regroup like that, because that's exactly what you should do. You trickle in one by one, you can slowly die. Now, I wanted to go up there and kill the Berserker a second ago, but I noticed that the team had it, and Theo made a call here saying, hey, should we just kill this Reaper? And I said, sure. So I immediately interrupted the guard. That was a little preemptive. I should have waited to see that animation I showed you guys a second ago, but either way, he ends up getting the res on the Reaper. And this puts us in a difficult position. Now, let me rewind just one more time here. So once again, Reaper goes down. Notice the animation on the guard. I knock him over, and the minute he gets up, look what he does. He goes to res him. Really, really smart. Reaper's getting low. He gets away with the res there. Now, at this point, typically when a player just goes down, when they get up, they don't have as much health. And a lot of times their cooldowns have all been blown because they were trying frantically to survive. So a lot of times when the enemy player is rezzed, you just focus on him and drop him right back down. That's what we tried to do with Reaper, but that was actually a bad call because Reaper has an extra health bar. And so you'll see he's resustaining with the support's help, and he's got his shroud. So ultimately bad target, and I made a call right in here, okay, we need to focus back on the guard. But I have almost nothing left. So I'm trying not to stand in the AoE in the red circles, and this fight is snowballing away from us little by little by little because of the fact that they have the support guard. So you'll see that one of our guys goes down, and then the Gunflame Berserker is back. So I immediately line of sight him, and a couple of the teammates go down. So we lost that team fight. However, looking at the top right again, you'll see that the Thief is decapping once more. So Thief is doing his job. Now I had put in chat another time for the Thief to decap because he had kind of been, trying to get in the team fight a little bit, but he was listening to the callouts, which huge shout out to him. Okay, what did I do right here? Let's back this up. So I see an enemy down. There's no way I'm going to save him. Even if I jump in there and get a kill real quickly, it's not going to matter. But if you'll look at the top here and then look at the mini-map, all of the enemy players that we can see right now are in here. Some of them are rotating to home. But we own all 3 nodes. So why would I jump into this mid-fight? Well, when people are bunched up, first of all, you get extra value, especially on Willbender with a lot of AoE damage and attacks. But I know that I can get in this fight and I can get out alive. So the reason I do this is to hit as many people as possible, do some damage, and basically get a target on me and get them worried about mid. Because a second ago they weren't worried about mid, they were just going to cap and spread out and take other nodes. But now look, all 4 of them are fighting for mid here, and the Gunflame Berserker's focusing on me. I'm doing line of sight and teleport shenanigans until I know he's out of defensive cooldowns. So I call out to Theo right here, hey, he's out of cooldowns, kill him. We both focus on him, get him killed, get 1 more killed. And so now we're kind of snowballing their team away. We down the Reaper, the Willbender runs in, he's killed now as well. So rather than just kind of giving up mid, my little bit of aggression on him that I showed a minute ago ends up actually winning us mid. So we have both of the side nodes, and we're about to cap mid. Now everybody left mid for a second. Somebody should have stayed in capped, but the Thief goes back to cap. So now at this point, I could have opened on the Berserker, but what do I know about this fight? Well, I know that we just killed 4 enemies. So they're all going to be trickling in, and my guess is that they're going to start trickling into home. The Guardian, by the way, they chased all the way around. So now the fight is ultimately going to far. Let me back this up because I wanted to comment on this just a little bit. So things are moving very, very fast in this game, you can tell. So right here, I see my players coming in. We have all of us here, and there's 4 enemies here. So this is a team fight that if we want to keep our momentum on the game, we have to win this team fight. Now, once again, though, we're faced with the same conundrum as earlier. We have a support and we have a Berserker. If we focus the support, the Berserker's going to wipe the team. If we focus the Berserker, the support's going to keep everyone alive and they're going to wipe our team. So because I see the guard low, I actually opt here to go for the Berserker, and I go for a Spear 5 into Judge's Intervention. Now what I didn't notice, take a look at his hotbar right here. He has stability. I did not realize that he was running Dolyak's stance, which is a stance that stun breaks and gives stability. So I just immediately assumed that I could stun him for a little second with my Spear 5 to Judge's Intervention. So I used that, and it does not stun him here. And now let's watch as this team fight plays out. So I immediately go to line of sight, trying to see where is he at. Have I attracted his attention? No, I haven't. I'm trying to put pressure on him so that he doesn't feel safe. But either way, this is a very similar situation that happened at the beginning of the game. And I'm trying to back up, calling for the team to back up. And Theo actually gets a knock on their Berserker. So he ends up going down. He gets killed. But as you'll see here, then 2 of our players go down. So at this point, we're losing the fight, and this is another extremely powerful lesson. A lot of teams would make the mistake when 2 of your buddies are down of overcommitting to that fight. Instead of that, we back away. So 3 of us are alive. 1 of them is still over there. It looks like we did get 1 of them up, and he's trying to get the Thief up. But we back out of the fight instead, knowing that we have 2 other nodes on the map, and all we have to do is hold 2 nodes because we're over 100 points ahead at this stage of the game. Now the Ranger makes the mistake of doing a 1v3. So we get a kill on the Ranger, which helps even the odds for when the enemy team pushes. Now at this point, I've talked about this before, but notice the score at the top here. It was at 485. We only need 15 points. And so at that point in time, you just need to hold 1 node. Now Theo stealthed us for an opening, and I mentioned to him, don't stealth us while we're sitting on a node because you can't hold a node while you're in stealth. So let me replay that ending just one more time here for y'all. So in fact, if we go all the way back just real quickly, imagine how this match could have potentially gone if we overcommitted to this fight and everyone got killed right here. if we would have all died right here, there's a chance maybe that they could have decapped our home and maybe grabbed our mid too, because the ranger was going to be there. And we may have lost the entire map and potentially snowballed to a defeat. But instead, because 3 of us were able to peel out of a losing fight and, you know, kind of reset and, you know, get a kill and hold a node somewhere else, that ultimately allowed us to win. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Again, the solution here is get your support and your DPS separated and then focus them down, you know, one at a time. Anytime they're alone. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys on the next video.